teams are lined up and ready. We're underway. Come on, City, let's get to Wembley. Hit it. Ortega has to make the save. Corner for Burnley. It's from the training ground. Don't look at Laporte. Not well.
Statistics since he arrived in the Premier League. Let me show you this. Since he arrived in Europe's top 5 leagues, which of course was when he joined Borussia Dortmund, that was mid-January 2020, only Robert Lewandowski has scored more goals. That is 100 up in Europe's top 5 leagues for Erling Haaland. He's ahead of Mbappe and Benzema and Kane and Salah, and I should point out Ronaldo and Messi, who don't even make that graphic.
Frightening.
I think we all paused.
The other thing, yeah, just taking it in. The other thing is he's doing that as a kid. I mean, that's for the last, what, 3 or 4 years. You know, he was very young. Lewandowski is absolutely at the top peak of his career. It just shows you what a good player Lewandowski is as well. But, you know, Haaland doing it at such a young age, God only knows what he's going to be doing in his late 20s.
Absolutely. OK, let's get some reaction. Here at Turf Moor is Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, starting again from zero, after all you achieved last season, what did you make of that as a first step up the next mountain?
Yeah, really good. The first games are so important to see how is our vibes and our feelings, and come here and you promoted it was so tricky, difficult, and the quality they didn't expect the defense with 5 in the back, but we found a goal in the first action that helped us. And after we struggled, we created problems ourselves, but there was a moment like Bernardo drop and Matteo drop, and we had to make a long possessions, and after the game was over. So that was the key of the game, when we attack with the fullbacks from outside and everyone inside to create the problems.
So you said after going 1-0 up, you had a struggle, and you said you caused your own problems. What were you doing wrong?
To do. Sloppiness when these guys have done these years is impossible to think about that. It's just to read what you have to do, and against man-to-man you cannot play to the player to the closest one. You have to play more passes and play more direct, especially with Erling, and after the second half especially Eddie was magnificent to contact with Erling against man-to-man, and after we make more extra passes, and Phil and Julian and everyone was really good.
So we don't often see it, but you know, we saw you making a point to Erling as you left the pitch at half-time. Tremendous second half, you said. But just the coaching point, what were you saying? What did you want more from him?
He wants all the time ball to him. When it's man-to-man is, of course, one, give me the balls away in behind and I'm going to do it. But when you have 2 minutes left or 3 minutes left, and Kovacic going behind and you lose the ball, and Rodri lose the ball, and Erling won that ball, and Bernardo was correct to don't give him that ball. In 2-3 minutes, nothing.
So just
wrong.
one incident, really?
It's not incident. It's a connection to do exactly what you have to do, but it's not absolutely any problem at all. So he scored 2 goals, and I think he's happy.
I mean, the second goal in particular, we don't really need reminding, but he's lethal, isn't he?
The assist from Julian was really good, and instead to shoot, he set perfectly in the right tempo, right foot, and after, you know how good is Erling in that position.
How is Kevin De Bruyne limped off early in the game?
Yeah, unfortunately he's injured again, and that is a problem. In the same position, I think he said to me, you know, he said to me in the final of the Champions League, and it's a pity we recover well, and now we lost him for a time, so we have to reflect and talk with the doctors, the physio, what happened with him. He has to be relaxed and recover and come back, because he was feeling really good, he was playing really good in the first minutes. So unfortunately he's injured again.
Yeah. I know it's easy for me with hindsight, but do you look at that and think, we shouldn't have taken the chance with him? Kevin said even himself before the game, I was a bit surprised to start.
Yeah, maybe, but when it happens in 50 minutes, can happen injury when they're 60, 65, 70, when the fatigue comes in the legs. But when you have 15 minutes injured, it's not about, you don't have a problem.
So overall then, you said the vibes, the hunger, the things you were looking for from your players, all looks like it's still there?
No doubt. So this group of guys are exceptional. So what they have done many years, and important to start away, and yeah, we did it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, Pat.
Very interesting indeed. Bruyne situation is the only negative of the night for Manchester City there.
It is, and you know, the manager, the buck stops with him. He's got to take some blame for that. Yes, the medical team as well will be scratching their heads and thinking, why? You know, it's the same area. There has to be still a small problem. It hadn't totally healed. I've been in that situation. I'd like to say I've been in that situation once or twice. I've probably been in that situation 15 or 16 times. And eventually you get to Kevin De Bruyne's age and you know your body better than anybody. And you have to say, as a player as well, Gaffer, I feel as though I'm not quite ready. And I had to say that at the end of my career, but I was probably like Kevin De Bruyne for the first 10 years of my career. Oh, yeah, I'll try it. Get injured again. It's a collective problem, that is, but it's a big problem. You know, one of the best players now is injured for a period of time. And, you know, you can't just accept that, oh, that's fine, that just happens. No, that's a reoccurrence. That should definitely be avoided. You never go into a game, and this intensity, having played 20-odd minutes in pre-season, and then it goes again after, you know, a short period of time. It's a big mistake, and they're going to pay for it.
One of the most durable characters of the treble win was Rodri. He got the important goal, of course, in the Champions League final. For the first time in his career, he assisted and scored in a league game tonight.
He's just a phenomenal player, isn't he? You know, 2 out of 3 goals tonight were set pieces, in theory. Second phase, this one, Rodri starts, he kind of forces the defender to head it into a really bad area, and he's there 6 yards again. The key area where Haalan got his goal from, just in there just to tap it in, really. Again, couldn't be any easier for him, but set piece is big today. When you're in the opening game of the season, you might not be in your rhythm. The delivery was spot on the 6-yard line. You cause chaos, gives you half a chance. And I said at the start of the show, the physicality that City have, you know, sometimes when your football's not in the rhythm that you might not want it to be. And I thought they were quite good considering they're 2 weeks behind maybe where Pep would want them. But when you got that physicality in the box and you can cause chaos, you can't really defend for that. Anything in front of the ball, you can kind of set people up. But when it's been a bit like ping pong in there, give yourself half a chance.
For the way City play and all the individual talent that we talk about, how key is Rodri to knitting it all together? And his consistency, like I say, so durable, isn't he?
Absolutely. He never gets injured, does he? I think he played more minutes than any other player last season. His presence alone, he just looks like a monster, doesn't he, in the centre of the pitch there. He's so calm on the ball. I mean, he scores goals, important goals. He breaks play up. He's a threat on set pieces. He's just the all-round package. They've just got to be very careful. I mean, Phillips has been brought in, and you would have liked to have thought that he would be capable enough to take a little bit of the pressure off, but Pep Guardiola doesn't give him a look in. He plays Rodri every single minute of every single game. And, you know, whether he's, you know, capable of doing that for years and years and years remains to be seen, but you'd like to think there'd be a bit of rotation and give him a break. In fact, he's been, you know, on record in recent days saying, you know, I can't do what I did last season every season. Rather like De Bruyne almost saying before the game, I'm not sure if I'm really ready here. So that'll be interesting to see if Pep Guardiola rotates him, but he's so good, he's almost irreplaceable.
No, I couldn't agree. And even going back to Calvin Phillips, Kovacic is in ahead of him now as well. But yeah, it's just that consistency, that reliable. And you see all the teams in the Premier League try and find that number 6, that holding midfielder. You see Caicedo's linked everywhere. Liverpool want one, Chelsea want one. That position is one of the most influential positions in football. Might not take all the headlines, although we scored today, but you take that player away, you take that position away, and it effectively crumble. You know, they're so key to winning things. And Rodri in particular. And when he's quite sure, you know, I thought a little bit slow to get going. Is he mobile enough? And he's just gone from strength to strength. And he's Mr. Reliable for Manchester City and irreplaceable.
Burnley lose the game. They also lost a man late on, Zaroury, the Moroccan who came on. He'd been on half an hour. After a review, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. Probably a red. I don't think he was trying to necessarily really hurt Kyle Walker, maybe trying to trip him a little bit, but he catches him too high, and it's quite a dangerous tackle when you start doing that. Studs on the back of the leg. So I don't blame VAR calling it to the attention of the referee for him to go and have another look. And as I say, I don't blame him from changing it from yellow to red either. It's not the worst challenge I've ever seen, but probably one that deserved the red.
Good use of VAR, Michael Oliver there?
Yeah, for me it was an easy decision of a red card in the end after using that technology. It's late, it's reckless, it's high. it's red card. And if I was Kyle Walker, I would be fuming, you know. So opening game of the season, you don't want to get hurt. So yeah, definitely red card for me.
What has Vincent Kompany and Burnley learnt from that tonight?
Well, they got that one out of the way. They'll be like, right, OK, we've got the champions out of the way. We've had the party, now it's down to serious business. As I said earlier, you know, it'll be calmer waters from now on for Burnley. The Premier League is tough every single week, but they've just faced the toughest. OK,
let's hear from the former Manchester City captain and, of course, current Burnley manager.
A big night for the club and a tremendous challenge for your players against the best in the world. How do you think they did?
I think, look, we had 5 guys who started for the first time for the club. We had a player who started his first debut in his career. And overall, we had chances and we knew it was going to be tough. So I think we have to take the positives from this game. And, you know, you can't feel good with a defeat, but I've seen enough to show that we've made progress since last time we played them. And like I said before, this is the worst we'll be this season, so this team's only going to get stronger now.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. So if that's the worst you're going to be, if that's your baseline, if you like, there's a lot to work with, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a mentality thing as well. It has to be the worst we're ever going to be this season because this team is focused on progress. I don't know who in my squad will end up at the top level, but I think some players will. And it takes hard work and every day, and this squad wants to progress. Grow with the players that we have as well, and that's a mission for us. So results come because you do the work in the background, and we have that here.
Welcome back. Plenty to talk about then after the first 50 minutes of Premier League football this season. Manchester City and Erling Haaland in particular took just 183 seconds to break the deadlock. And no surprise it came from him. Well worked, Michael.
It was well worked. They certainly planned the short corner. I'm not sure that this bit was actually planned. It was well recycled from Rodri and a beautiful finish. We just have a look at the replay here. You can just see Haaland blocking his man there to give Phil Foden a little bit more space. And then he gets into his customary position in the middle of the goal. And then when the ball is slightly overhit, it's a great header back by Rodri. And people will think, oh yeah, it's a goal, but that's a proper finish. Side foot right into the side net, and he's off and running again.
You're only smiling because you tipped him to be top goal scorer, though.
It wasn't much of a tip, though, was it?
Karen, what about this finish?
Look, I think it was well worked. I think Phil Foden picks up a brilliant position there, and Kyle Walker high up. But what you see is the back line of Burnley drops so deep. So it creates that space there for Haaland. I think you see it better in this clip now. There's a Foden position. Coutinho's thinking, oh, what do or don't I? And he goes in and presses, and then Foden's so quick, just slips him in behind. And then this is where they penetrate those areas. And you see Haaland makes that run in. Burnley drop really, really deep. But both centre forwards in Alvarez and Haaland have that space there. And look, this is the angle that you see from the finish. Lovely first time. No goalkeeper in the world stopping it. And he's thinking, one more and I'm on to a hat-trick.
Another one. It wasn't even a brilliant layoff, you know. It was a little bit bobbly, a little...
Don't I? And he goes in and presses, and then Foden's so quick, just slips him in behind. And then this is where they penetrate those areas. And you see Haaland makes that run in. Burnley drop really, really deep. But both centre forwards in Alvarez and Haaland have that space there. And look, this is the angle that you see from the finish. Lovely first time. No goalkeeper
to him. And he still made it look easy. I mean, just a phenomenal finisher.
OK, he had 9 touches in that first half. As that first half finished, walking back to the dressing rooms, which are in the corner, for any of you who haven't been to, turf.
Yeah, he thinks that he can get in again and score his hat-trick. Yeah, he thinks that he can get in again and score his hat-trick. And we're trying to listen to what Pep Guardiola tempo anymore during those last minutes. They're keeping the ball, and whereas Haaland, as a centre-forward, it's goals, goals, goals. That's constantly what you're thinking. So it doesn't matter whether there's 1 minute left or there's 1 minute gone. You're constantly looking to penetrate, constantly looking to score. So Pep Guardiola was, I think, calming him down because he was having a little bit of a pop at Bernardo for not releasing him.
Now, as I said, the only downside for the champions in that first half was Kevin De Bruyne. Now, this is interesting, Karen. Of course, we'll remind you what he said in a moment. before the game. This is when he went down 23 minutes in. That's all he lasted. And I should point out, Karen, he's only played 26 minutes of pre-season football, 62 days after going off injured in that Champions League final.
I think it's when he stretched out and that was his hamstring there. But I think we all said it. We said at the start of the show, his interview. We all said it. We said at the start of the show, his interview. If a player is talking like that, he's not fit. But, you know, it's actually, that's what I think it is anyway from that clip.
In case you weren't with us, this is what Kevin De Bruyne said.
How do you feel personally? Because I think it's been quite a short pre-season for you.
Yeah. Also a little bit of an unknown. Maybe not something that I expected today already, but...
Didn't expect to start?
No, because I've not played that much.
Didn't expect to start?
No, because I've not played that much, but the coach decided, and I will try to do my best and to play as long as possible and try to help the team if we can win today.
So that's what he said before the game. I hate to remind you, Michael, you've been there.
Yeah.
Talk us through.
That's got to land on his toes. You can't... How many minutes in pre-season?
26 minutes of pre-season.
26 minutes, and you're playing him in a Premier League game from the start. I mean, medical staff, straight away, need to be a bit of an investigation there. And then Pep Guardiola playing him after, you know, that's such a short period of time. You have to... I mean, he has to... He's the manager of the club. He has to take responsibility there. That's their best player, second best player.